What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Dép Podcast. Joey Alfieri, Simon Tsalikis, we're with you. Big Montreal Canadiens win against the Boston Bruins in overtime last night, and we're going to break it all down for you. And we'll look ahead to see. We're going to try and dissect some of these storylines here going into the week. We like to be ahead of the curve, Simon. Usually I find we talk about something and then it makes its way into mainstream media a few days, sometimes weeks later. So I take great pride in that. But we're going to start with low-hanging fruit, obvious. I am in my mid-30s, so this is not the first time in my life that I've seen – no, I shouldn't say that. This is not the first time in my life that a Canadiens player has hit the 40-goal mark. But the last time it happened, I do not remember. I was too young. I was very early into the single digits when Vincent D'Anfous hit 40 goals back in 1993-94. How about Cole Caulfield doing it again? So many game winners, so many goals this year coming when the Canadiens are down a goal. But Cole Caulfield getting it in overtime, 40th goal. And I don't know, I had predicted, I think we talked about this a couple months ago. I thought it would be 51. We'll see. He did miss a game due to illness, so that would complicate things here. But regardless, no matter how many more he gets, Simon, I think the 40-goal mark is is impressive for this organization and this franchise.
Yeah, and especially for him, it's a magic number, right? Before you can become a 50-goal guy, you need to be a 40-goal guy, and he did that. And I just like everything about it. Joey, you speak about the game winners, the ones that take the Canadiens up by a goal. It seems like all his goals matter. Efficient on the power play. You remember not too long ago, maybe 2 months ago, whatever it was, a hat trick against the Bruins in Boston. So he has a knack of scoring against the arch rival as well. I don't think it's just the 40 games, though, man. It's just that he's a lot more of a complete player now. I just like the way he distributes the puck. He doesn't shy away from physicality. He doesn't look for it either, but he just knows how to stay clear of that.
He wins puck battles, Simon. He's very hard to bump off the puck for a small guy.
Yeah, and listen, there's been a bullseye on his back, and Lane Hudson and all those, Quinn Hughes, all these smaller players, Jack Hughes, their entire lives, probably going back to U7, hockey. There's been a bullseye on their back to just be physical with them. They've figured out how to survive and get to the elite level of hockey by not putting themselves in those predicaments. But another massive goal. I think, look, just getting a tie was massive. The Bruins had to win. Not that it's over for the Bruins. They're still in a very good spot for postseason. But if you're the Bruins, you wanted to get out of there with the 2 points in regulation, considering you had the lead twice and you couldn't hold on. But yeah, with Cole Caulfield's nice, man. The next mark is a big mark, 45, then the magical 50. He's got a point-a-game player playing middle with him. Now here's a question, Joey. Does it get better for him when they find that right winger, or that guy sitting on the right wing, is it going to be Slav? Is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be somebody that's going to swallow up 30, 35 goals? Is it going to be a playmaking winger? We don't know which direction this goes, but I think you can start getting really comfortable with calling Cole Caulfield the 40-goal scorer on the regular.
Yeah. And again, look, I know other teams have had 50, 60-goal guys quite regularly. But for this organization, I mean, it seemed unfathomable to me at one point. You're saying that, the Canes would have a 40-goal scorer. I had a hard time seeing it. I know Max Pacioretty came close. I think Max had 39 once. And Max Pacioretty is a good goal scorer. It's just, it seems to come a little more naturally to Cole Caulfield. And listen, hopefully he has a really long career ahead of him, like you said. But I think he'll be a regular 40-goal guy as long as there's good health. But I think this guy has the talent, and he has that it factor as a goal scorer that he elevates in big moments that I think he can get 50. I'm not saying this is going to be a 60, 65 goal guy, but I do think that this is a guy who should be able to put in 45, 50 goals a season, especially with how good the Canadiens are offensively, just overall, and how aggressive they are when it comes to creating chances. And you're playing with, you seem to be married to a point-a-game center, a guy who wouldn't surprise me if he put up 100 points in the NHL at some point. Is as close as this year. I don't know what the pace is this year at this point, but wouldn't surprise me at all if he had multiple 100-point seasons in Nick Suzuki. So to me, it's been fun to watch. It's been nice because, again, I know, Simon, when you're a little older, so growing up, you saw the Canadiens have a little more success than I did. I was a little young for 93, but, it's just nice to see. I understand that to win the whole thing, and that's the ultimate goal, you're going to have to tighten up defensively. But this is the first time in a really long time that I think the Canadiens are a juggernaut offensively. Again, there's a lot to figure out in order to win a championship, but it's fun. They're fun to watch. I don't know how this is going to be, how this translates into April and potentially May. But for right now, this regular season, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so many things going for him to get to that 50. Like you said, the health of Nick Suzuki first and foremost. Obviously, Cole Caulfield's health as well. Slav looks like he fits on that line so well. And the big thing is whether he's on, I can't see him off power play unit number 1, but if he were to drop the power play unit number 2, there might be a guy like Noah Dobson or Ivan Demidov there waiting for him. So they've got an efficient power play. They got puck movers on the blue line. He's got the center ice guy that he's been looking for, or any winger is looking for. So there's a lot to tell you that number should continue to grow from the 40 spot.
You're saying they would move him down to power play too?
Just to move things around, if something's not going. But,
power play's having a hard go, not to deviate too much here, but it's been a while here. The power play's having a tough go.
Look, on the weekend. They struggled on the way. And there's a perfect example. I don't think it's, moving a guy to power play unit number 2. If you're giving each unit a minute, but maybe you want to give somebody a different look, something, have the opposition defend a little bit differently, spread it around. I don't know. But, sometimes, Joe, when you look at Max Pacioretty's 39, if Max Pacioretty got caught out there for 2 minutes of a power play, he didn't have Noah Dobson back there and Ivan Demidov or Slav or whoever it might. I know he had Markov back there and Subban for a little bit, but there wasn't a deep dive in offensive talent. And here, no matter where you find yourself,
the center was Darnay, Simon.
He was good. He's all right. Playmaker.
Yeah, but he's not Nick Suzuki.
He's not in Nick Suzuki's category. Absolutely right. No. And if you ever got caught out there with the second line center, whoever it was, Plekanec was probably more defense than offense. So there's a lot trending in that right direction for whether it's Demidov's point total, Slav's, Cole's run to 50, Nick Suzuki's run to 100. There's a lot of good things pointing in that direction. Yeah,
Canadians get that big win, like we've been talking about, 3-2. In overtime over the Boston Bruins. And things were hairy there for a second. Not only did they trail twice in regulation, Pavel Zacha, a guy that Canadians, maybe go get Pavel Zacha. I thought Pavel Zacha might sink the Canadians tonight. And he had a partial breakaway in overtime as well.
It was a clean breakaway.
It was a clean breakaway.
Good look at it, and that was for the hat trick, I believe, too, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, that would have been. But we can't, a big reason why they end up getting the win is because Lane Hudson out on the ice for 2 minutes and 20 seconds and makes that diving play to break up the 2-on-1 that just kind of gave the Bell Center some energy and some life. Just that play after being, I know, it's 3-on-3 and you're covering a guy and the Bruins weren't necessarily on the attack when they had possession all that time. But still, you're out there for over 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and to have the energy to break up that play, that 2-on-1, and to just kind of go for it. You take the risk, you go for it, you swat the puck away, and then your team ends up going the other way, and you regain possession for the first time in a while. That was an unbelievable play by an unbelievable player.
Yeah, and I thought there was a couple of saves late in the game again, Joey, and that's what they're looking for. So I'm just going to flip here on the other screen. I saw Carlo Koliakovo from TSN in Toronto. He retweeted this. When the Canadians get a save percentage above 900, they are 26-0-3. Below 900, 10, 19, and 7. Let me repeat that. When it's at 900 or above, they are 26-0-3.
Goodness.
That's like a messed up stat, man. That's like you have to check on that. That's just absolute. They're flawless.
Yeah, but in fairness, 900 like 10 years ago and 900 today is not the same.
A little bit different.
Like, you had guys that would be at 925, 930 save percentages. Now, if you're at 910, 912, you're very good. But still, 900 isn't. It's not a world beater goalie stat. 900 is I guess above average now.
Yes. So that's what they're getting. So and
that's
a couple of stops.
Stat.
I think McAvoy had a really nice look late in that third period. Dobiš made the save. So look, that's what we've been talking about all year, right? When they were getting the inconsistency from Dobiš or Montembeault, it was, man, you're back in a game. Just make a save, hang around, keep it at 2-1. Don't let it get to 3-1. And Dobiš did that against the Bruins and allowed them to buy themselves some time until they got to that overtime.
Yeah, I didn't think it was quite as one-sided because I thought the Ducks on the weekend on Sunday had a really good third period, Simon, and you could kind of feel like momentum was going their way. I was just at that point, you're just hoping for the Canes to get to overtime on Sunday, and it didn't happen with the late goal. But you kind of had that feeling a little bit tonight too. Like the Bruins had some really good looks. I didn't think the period was as one-sided as it was on Sunday, but still, like to your point, you go out there and you get the big saves from Dobiš, and that's how you hang in there, and you get a couple of big saves. You get to overtime, gets you a point, and then you have a couple of big moments in overtime where your best players come through for you, and that's how you go out there and you get 2 points. I don't think they stole 2 points, but that's how you go out there and you get yourself 2 points in a really tightly contested game. It's through saves and through your big time guys making big time plays. No,
that was a good hockey game, man. That was a good hockey game. A little bit of physicality, everything else. Bruins got their power play early. Josh Anderson had a chance to get on that breakaway when they were shorthanded. So
I'm curious to see if I was happy for Josh Anderson scoring, Simon. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah. I'm curious to see if Josh Anderson's a little banged up after he smoked Charlie McAvoy at the near the end of the third period.
Okay, I missed that. Must have been looking at my phone, maybe flipping into the world.
Well, he behind the Bruins net, he came in on the forecheck and absolutely squashed Charlie McAvoy, and then went back to the bench. And RDS showed it actually pretty. I was watching on RDS, and RDS showed it pretty well.
Okay.
I was in Pierre Hood's camp. Pierre Hood had mentioned that he thought he was just kind of out of breath, but he seemed to be failing. He seemed to be feeling it. As the game went on. So I'm curious to see if Josh Anderson is okay, because I don't think we saw him again after that. But yeah, it seems like Charlie McAvoy ends up losing teeth. It seems like Charlie McAvoy plays a lot, but he seems to be on the receiving end of some painful treatment.
He got I think it was with Josh Anderson. He got crossed up right in front of the Bruins net when he went down.
Yeah,
a little play, skated behind the net, and made his way back to the bench. So
I think it was. It was Texier.
It was Texier, maybe? Okay.
Yeah. In overtime, you're talking about?
No. It was in a regular 5-on-5 play right in front of the Bruins net. He got crossed up with somebody. He went down, stayed down for a little bit, got up, went around the net. I think might have chased the puck out of the zone and went to the bench.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the overtime one with Texier. When Texier got the shot in there, he mixed it up with
Texier gets in there. McAvoy throws like a couple of punches and just starts skating away, and with his back to the fight. I'm like, dude, you started that. Get in there. Just do something.
That's the best. Yeah. That's good when the guys do that. Look, we could keep talking about the game if you want. We have a couple minutes left. Simon, because the news came out today with Kirby Dach. It's an upper body injury. Kent Hughes had mentioned earlier in the week in Florida at the, I guess they're not, are they winter meetings? Anyways, the meetings in Florida, that it wouldn't be a serious injury. But again, it's another 2 weeks at minimum, Simon, where Kirby Dach is out. I'm just curious what your mindset is here and what you're feeling. Because I feel bad for the guy, but at the end of the day, Canes are going to have to make a decision on this dude, Simon, because there's a couple of guys that injuries hampered their ability to take a step forward this year. Kirby Dach and Caden Gooley, I find, are two of those guys that, the injuries really affected them. I was expecting them both to take a big step this year, and I don't think they did.
Yeah, well, look. It's unfortunate for him. The guy just simply cannot stay healthy during his tenure here with the Canadiens. But it's opportunities. I thought Texier was good against the Bruins. I thought he was engaged a couple of scoring chances. He was trying to do what he can do. Joe Veleno, Patrick Laine, get ready. It's next man up. At this point, Joey, I don't think you can pencil Kirby Dach in for anything at this point. I think if you're the Canadiens, you have to go on here and look at your bench and see what you can get from it. The reports were 2-3 weeks. I don't know. Doesn't that take you pretty much to the start of the playoffs, or maybe a week or so away from the playoffs? It's tough. It's tough. I would imagine it's tough specifically for him. Nobody suffers more than Kirby Dach, but when you're you're trying to get something out of that second line. You're trying to get something out of that third line. It's just if you can just get him to stay in there a little bit and get a little bit, greater looks, but they can't do that right now. So I don't know when we see him back, maybe at the beginning of the postseason. But again, unfortunate for him, but opportunity for Veleno or Laine, whoever comes in now, or whoever's, Texas is probably first on that rotation. But, got to be ready to go. And, nothing more than that. It's just really unfortunate. Kirby Dach simply cannot stay healthy when it comes to his time here with the Habs.
You know what I think he needs, Simon?
No, I don't know. What does he need?
I think he needs you to bring him to Elixir Laval and have him have some of those homemade cheesecakes in the huge glass window.
That helps, and you chase it down with a nice little latte there. Absolutely. It can't hurt, Joe. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
You're not?
No. They said upper body injury, right?
Yes.
Listen.
Maybe you feed him. Maybe you feed. If he's checking his phone with one hand, maybe you feed it. You feed it to him.
Listen. I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody complaining from an upper body injury going forward after you bang out a couple of cheesecake there at the Elixir locations. Absolutely. Tsalikis,
behave yourself.
Talk soon, boy.
All right, that's Simon Tsalikis. I'm Joey Alfieri. It's a Sports Dép Podcast. You can find us here on YouTube if you're watching us. If you don't want to watch us, you just want to listen, you can find us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Leave a comment, leave a rating, be nice. Simon has, great style, a lot of gray in the beard, very nice glasses. Please don't comment on any of those things. Go after him for his takes. Come after me for my takes. And we'll even respond. I think Sam responds to people who leave comments on videos and stuff like that too. He encourages the mischief from this audience. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Canadians get a big win last night over the Boston Bruins, 3-2 in overtime. We'll see. I know the chatter the last few days has been about, are they going to make the playoffs? Are they not? I think they're going to be just fine. But let's see where this wild ride takes us. Tsalikis, be good. Yes, we'll see you in a couple of days.